Welcome to All Things Moore County, Moore County's weekly radio show highlighting the many facets of the Sandhills. That includes real estate, lifestyle, community and neighborhoods. And now from 4 Properties, here's your host, Bill Sahadi.
Good morning. Welcome to the talk show, All Things Moore County. Dorothy, it was nice to have the people from the Encore Center on last week.
Yes.
Where we said, oh my gosh, we're finally talking about events again.
Yes, finally. Feels so long.
It does. There have been so many things. We're in September.
Yeah.
And so many people's perspectives have changed this year with the pandemic.
Yeah.
How they've accommodated, how their habits have changed.
Mm-hmm.
People's eating habits
very much have changed.
Certainly changed.
Yes.
And some people say, people have gained so much weight during the pandemic. Some people have lost so much weight during the pandemic.
Yep.
I'm the latter, fortunately. And one of the things that I discovered this year, if you go back to March, when people were stocking up on toilet tissue and paper towels and raiding the
cleaning
bins.
aisle.
Yeah. And they would buy, food to bring home so they're not out. Mm-hmm. So one of the habits that I started to pick up was I discovered a place in Southern Pines on North Poplar Street. It's in a business center complex behind where Spice Café is located and PNC Bank, kind of across the street from where Arby's is, off Pinehurst Avenue.
Yeah.
Called Clean Eatz. So I was in transition in March because I was moving and renovating a home that I finally moved into, and I was living in the in-law suite portion of the house while the main house was being done, and not going out, trying to keep my kind of fly under the radar a little bit. And I started to go into Clean Eatz, and I had been in there before. That location had been another restaurant or two over the years, so a lot of people might be familiar with it. But I started to purchase their pre-cooked meals, which were packaged, and they were the simplest and most reasonable meals you could imagine, where you literally just put them in the microwave for 3 to 4 minutes.
Sounds perfect for you.
And it's a balanced meal, and so it became a habit.
Good habit.
I don't know if I would have discovered it had it not been for the pandemic, but now that I have, and people are out and about a little bit more, I've still become a regular there. And since I don't cook, it makes it even easier.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
And I feel so bad for so many of the parents who are stuck at home with the kids, being, homeschoolers, teaching at home, working on these variable schedules. And I'm just wondering if Clean Eatz is not a great alternative for a lot of moms and dads who are stressed to the max right now.
Very well might be. We need to talk to them about it.
Well, I spoke to the owners, and they're newer owners, Leslie and Philip Jones, and I asked them if they would want to come in and talk, because they have a lot of great information, and this is a great eat-in and take-out facility, and I just want people to be aware of what they do. But you guys are, when did you buy, because Clean Eatz is a franchise, I think, Philip, right?
It is.
And when did you purchase the business?
About 10 weeks ago.
Oh, boy.
We had started the process not long before the whole COVID kind of hit. Obviously, not the most ideal time to jump into a restaurant business.
No kidding.
But it's worked out, and we're happy to be there for sure.
So you are retired military?
I am.
And this is sort of like a second chapter, this entrepreneurial endeavor. Have you been in the restaurant business before?
Never. 30 years in the Army. The kind of the whole clean eats thing with nutrition and fitness and stuff. Our hashtag says it's a lifestyle.
Right.
So I've had the lifestyle, but never had the business. So this sort of was a kind of a natural transition, and Leslie's kind of in the same boat. So
Yeah. And Leslie, you're retired military. Are you?
No.
Okay.
I worked for DOD, for the Army,
Okay.
for just about 20 years before I just quit my job to do this.
Okay. Did you?
March.
And you had no experience in the business, the culinary business,
Other than being
restaurant?
a waitress for many,
Sure.
many years when I was younger.
So the learning curve for the last 10 weeks has probably been very eye-opening.
Very.
Yeah.
Yes.
What was the motivation for going forward with this endeavor? Because it was so different from what either one of your pasts might suggest.
Clean Eats is something that we were both customers of.
Okay.
I was also friends with the original Clean Eats. It's a franchise now, but it didn't used to be.
Okay.
It started in Wilmington,
Okay.
just as a Clean Eats cafe. So I had been there when it was just the cafe, and then they started to franchise, and it came to Fayetteville.
Right.
And friends of mine got in on that, and I kind of wanted to do it then. It just wasn't the right time for me, and we had talked about it and talked about opening up one, and then we talked to my friends who also own Southern Pines, and they were wanting to sell it, and we decided that we were living out here, and that seemed like a really good idea to start with one that was already existing.
Okay. I remember I've lived here for 21 years, and I know that this particular location has had a number of different eating facilities over the last 6-7 years. If I recall, there was an Italian buffet restaurant there. What was before Clean Eats came to that location? Dorothy, do you know what I'm talking about?
I know there's something there, but I so very rarely go that way. I couldn't tell you what it was.
Yeah,
and some sort of sports bar, I believe.
There was a bar,
Yep.
and there was pizza,
that's right.
and maybe even a sub shop. A lot of the customers that come in here who have lived here for many years
Tell you the story.
have told us what it was
I
previously.
think the oldest one we've had is a lady who's probably in her mid-30s came in, and as she was standing there ordering, she started just kind of doing a couple 360s and looking around.
Right.
And told me that when she was a child, her dad owned that as a video store. And over where the smoothie bar is, she said that was the kids section.
No kidding.
And there was a little Caesars next door, and if they were good, their dad would order Caesars for them, and they could go over there and pick it up.
I do remember
So
Little
that's
Caesars
been
being in that spot.
quite some time
You do?
ago.
Do you really? So
Yeah.
So how long ago are we talking about?
Oh God, that was like, I want to say the 90s.
Oh my gosh! So that
Yeah.
building has been there since the 90s?
Oh yeah,
I would have guessed probably 20 years at least, because she looked about mid-30s, and she was talking about as like
As a child.
10 to 12-year-old.
Well, Trident Marketing used to be a Kroger, I think. When it was first, that building was first built, I think where the Trident Marketing was a Kroger.
You're right. That's correct. And that was in the early 2000s?
No, that was like, I remember being a kid, so that was
Oh,
you
wow.
know, in the 90s, and there was a whole lot of stuff over there.
Yeah.
It's changed a lot over the last 30 years.
Yeah. The parking is so easy. It's so easy to get in and out of there because it's off Highway 1. It's not on 1. But if people know where the Spice Cafe is, it's the big brick complex right behind it. And it technically has a Poplar Street address. So since you started, I didn't realize it was only 10 weeks. I've noticed that you've made some changes to the menu. And I only come in, as you know, and I go right to the refrigerators where all the pre-packed meals are. But it's way more than just pre-packaged meals. You have meal plans, you have eat-in facilities, you have almost like a salad bar, but the food is very healthy. The prices are exceptionally reasonable. So that takes us to, the margins. You guys probably are working on a very tight margin. They always say in the restaurant business, if you don't have a liquor license, oh my gosh, how do you make money? Because the margins for food are so narrow. And Leslie's nodding in agreement. The reality has hit, huh?
Yes.
Okay. Who is your your demographic. Who is your client? Have you guys come up with a model?
It's actually quite varied. My initial thought was going to be it was all people who were 100% into fitness,
Right.
and very strict diets, and would do their just meal plans, and probably wouldn't even eat some of this other stuff on the cafe that wasn't 100% like clean. But we find out we've got a lot of military. We kind of joke when you see a large Chevy Silverado pulling in, and you're going to see a well fit 30-year-old Special Forces guy getting out.
Right.
And we do have a large chunk of those that either don't want to cook, don't have the time to cook, maybe are dual military. But then we're finding out that we've got a lot of older people who
Convenience.
it's out of convenience. They don't want to cook anymore.
Right.
But they're looking for something that's healthy. They
Right.
want to feel good about what they're eating.
Right.
They want to take care of themselves. They may not ever run an ultra marathon. They may,
Right.
walk down the street is what their exercise is.
Right.
It's a huge, wide variety, and I think that's what's been interesting. Yesterday, I was talking to a lady who come in that she was like, I hear people talk about macros. I don't even
About
know
what?
macros. She's like, I don't know what that even means.
Me either.
And it's simply the breakdown of protein, fats, and carbs.
Oh, okay.
Well, and so she was like, oh, well, I know what protein, fats, and carbs are, but she had never heard that term of macros because people, are you counting your macros or on a macro diet or...
Okay.
But I think the majority of people, our lifestyle is so fast these days
Right.
that people want something quick that's easy, but they can feel about eating themselves or giving to their kids.
Yeah. When you say clean, what does that mean? When you use the word clean eats, when food is clean, what does that mean?
So clean, meaning fresh ingredients,
Okay.
not processed.
Okay.
No added.
You have to talk to me like I'm a second grader. It's okay.
No added salt or sugar or
Okay.
anything like that. That's also balanced in your macros, that you're getting a good balance. You're not eating way too much of one or the other. Would
Okay.
be clean eating.
Okay. So the other day I got home. I put in the microwave you had an herb chicken dish. It had rice at the bottom. It had green beans. I couldn't tell if they were. I don't think it was okra. They might have just been an Italian bean, a wide bean, and then the chicken breast up on top. And all the seasoning was in. So you pop it in the microwave. You take it out. I usually go 3.5 minutes, and I let it sit for a minute so that it all gets warm. And it was very satisfying. It was not a gigantic portion where you felt you were going to be stuffed, but you were satisfied. And but I noticed that most of the meals are balanced. You've got a carb, you've got a vegetable, you've got perhaps a meat, but you have seafood, you do pasta dishes, you do breakfast dishes. You want to talk about just the varied, how do you come up with the ideas of what you're going to be preparing? And how do you tell what's popular? How do you keep track of it all?
So because we're a franchise, a lot of that comes from corporate.
Okay.
Our menu each week for meal plans that is emailed to you, they give us 5 meals and 1 breakfast. And it changes every week. So those meals actually come from corporate, and they actually track the analytics of what sells across all of the franchises.
Okay.
Constantly adding in new and different things to keep it fresh.
Okay.
So our grab and goes, which it sounds like you got the lemon herb chicken and that was asparagus.
That's it. Thank you. Oh,
Yes.
that's right. It was asparagus.
It was asparagus tips.
No, that's
so they were
exactly
smaller.
right. What an
and-
idiot I am.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's something that came from the meal plan.
Right.
But now the other ones in there are creativity that comes out of our kitchen
Yep.
because we have product that needs to be used
Right.
up that was used on a meal plan, but there's more left. and it's fresh food, and you want to make sure you make something with it and get it out to the grab and go in the freezer.
Right. So because it's fresh food, it's got a short shelf life, right?
Correct.
So you're under the gun every week to make sure that you get the fresh food processed, cooked, prepared, and then frozen.
Yes.
And then you just hope that analytics was correct, and those are the things that people want. Right?
Now, the meal plan is fresh food. If you're on the meal plan and you order online and you pick up your food in the store, that's fresh food.
Okay.
So the grab and goes where you go is different. That's always frozen.
Okay.
But the people that are coming on meal plan are picking up fresh food.
Ah.
They're ordering it, we're making it, and you're picking it up all within about a 4-day span.
Okay. Have you ever seen a creature of habit like me that always does the same thing, where I just come into the grab and go, and I put blinders on, and I just go right to the refrigerator, then I come to the cash register, and then I leave?
Absolutely. We have many people that
Like me.
don't do meal plan.
Perfect.
They just come in
Okay.
and they know where they're going, and they head straight for the grab and go, and they grab their basket and they fill it up.
Right.
Like weekly, we have people that do that.
Right.
And that grab and go is constantly changing. So those meals are coming in and going out every day, and we're making new ones. So the variety is always different. We do like to ask people, if they liked something special, we'll recreate it the next week and try to get some in there to cater to what people like.
Can you do that?
Sometimes. We don't always have the same product that we might have had that we made it with last week, and it's not something we order because it's not on our cafe menu. So we might have to wait until it comes around on the menu again. But for the most part, we do try to get feedback.
Okay, so you have a sit-down feature in the restaurant where people can come in and have lunch.
The cafe.
You have a meal plan, and then you have the grab and go.
Right.
Are those the three facets?
3 different things going on.
Okay, let's come back in the second set and let's talk. I want to break it down. I want to understand the meal plan better than I do because I'm just a grab and go guy, and maybe I can switch gears. We'll see. This is All Things Moore County. We're talking with the new owners of Clean Eatz in Southern Pines. We'll be right back. Welcome back to our second set. We're speaking with Leslie Jones and Philip Weaver from Clean Eatz, which is and they're the new owners of an establishment which has been around there, I guess, for a couple of years. I want to wrap my head around the meal plan. Since I just come in for the grab and go, I want you to talk all about the meal plan. Who gets on it? Is it a weekly thing? How do you decide what meals there? How do you do your meal planning? Talk about your ingredients, the pricing if you can. You're on.
Okay.
It's all yours.
So the meal plan you sign up for by email. There's no subscription, no obligation. Once a week you're going to get an email on Thursday, and you're going to get a choice of 5 regular, like lunch, dinner meals and 1 breakfast meal.
Okay.
You order online. You can order as many or none of each meal. You can choose to pay online, or you can just pay in the store.
Okay.
So you submit your order. Ordering is open from Thursday when the menu goes live until Sunday at midnight.
Okay.
You pick up your fresh food on Sunday from 12 to 3 or Monday from 11 to 7. We also have the ability to customize a little bit with half carb, no carb, and extra protein, which fits some people's diets. And so if you order specials, you pick those up on Tuesday.
Okay.
So all of the ingredients, it's all fresh food that nothing is added to. And that's the way you pick it up for your week. But if you don't eat all those meals in that week, and you can put them in the freezer as well. As for the pricing, so the more meals you order, the more the price point drops.
Okay. Makes sense.
So capped being at 21 meals, that would be, if you order 21, that's the lowest. From 21 and beyond would be the lowest price point.
So 21 meals would cover a week, 3 meals a day. Is that what you're saying?
It could.
Yeah.
And we have people that only want it because they want lunch. They just want something they can quickly take to work and
Yep.
put in a microwave and heat it up.
Makes sense.
Some people, eat it for dinner as well. We have people that do not order breakfast because they have their own breakfast routine maybe.
Right.
But we do offer that one breakfast meal option.
And tell me, who are the people that are enrolled in the meal plan? Military families, senior citizens, people with strict dietary guidelines. Do you have that broken down?
I do think that we have a lot of military families, purely for the convenience. It is senior citizens, I might say it's a little bit harder to get them on the whole computer, ordering online. We don't have too many. We also have, I've spoken to many moms that do it because maybe they work, they don't have time to prepare meals every night.
Right.
And people that are just trying to watch their intake. When you receive the menu in your email, all of the macros are broken down: calories, proteins, carbs, fats. So.
Okay. So nutritionally, the food itself is very healthy, balanced.
Correct.
But that doesn't mean you don't have fats. Fats are necessary,
Yes.
right? I mean, I know a little. I know just a little. And I know that fats are part of a good diet, right?
Yes.
So you control the fats, the type of fats that are in the meals?
We do. We do receive the actual recipes from corporate that we follow. And you'll see, if you look at the 6 meals that are offered, it's kind of a variety of maybe some higher calorie, higher fat, higher carb meals, as well as some lower ones.
Right.
And then that's the whole beauty of the customization, that when you make a meal half carb or no carb, so we're going to take out some of that rice or some of that pasta and we're going to replace it with more vegetables.
Right.
And we have a lot of people that do the extra protein. So the meal stays the same, but you add more of the protein to it.
Are there certain foods that are risky because they're fresh, like seafood, that you can't utilize as frequently as you could certain meats?
This is true. So you will find that there are seafood meals, they're not as often.
Right.
And the seafood meals we make the day before pickup.
Okay.
They are the last thing because of that.
How many hours a week do you guys put in at the shop? I would imagine a lot of hours.
Right now, I'm there 7 days a week because I agreed to do that. Philip still has a job on Fort Bragg.
Yep.
So he is there all of the other days that he's not at Fort Bragg. So it's still a lot of hours.
He comes in, he takes all the credit, but you do all the work, huh? Is that the deal?
I do. I come in, shake hands,
pat
people on the back, tell them what a great job they're doing.
Right.
Really great choices.
Right. And Leslie's doing a great job.
Has something to eat.
How proud you are of her and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But if I could just jump in as well, Leslie just went over the mechanics of the meal plans and how to order.
Yep.
But she left out one part, which is they're really delicious and they're really good.
Yeah.
Both of us.
I agree.
Both of us were customers of Clean Eatz long before we even considered this. And we're customers of many of the other options that are available out there that you could order online and have shipped to you.
Right.
And she also mentioned that it's cheaper the more you buy, but she didn't mention how much they would cost. The average, if you ordered online somewhere, you're going to pay between $8 and $9 to have these meals made and shipped to your house. The most expensive, if you got the least amount, if you ordered 5 meals, you're going to pay about $7.30 a meal.
And that's if you ordered the least amount.
The least amount.
So by putting a volume discount in there, it comes down to...
You literally could order as little as 1 meal. You could go online and order, I'd like 1 meal, and you'd pay about $7.30, $7.35.
Yeah.
If you order 21, you're going to pay $6.10 a meal.
That's crazy. It's so good. It's so good. I mean, I know in the grab and goes, I think they're $6.50.
Correct.
Right across the board. And then after you have a rewards program as well, I don't pay attention. Maybe I should, But I guess after buying so many meals, sometimes you can come in and if you buy 6, you get the 6th one free or something like that. Is that the way that works?
Yes, we do have a reward system that doesn't cost you anything.
Right.
All we want is your phone number.
Right.
So they put their number in each time. You are given a point for every dollar that you spend.
Okay.
And that goes from giving you a free bowl,
Mm-hmm.
build your own bowl on your birthday, to a free smoothie, to $2 off a certain amount of purchase, a free dessert. But yes, if you do accumulate points because you come weekly for meal plans or
Mm-hmm.
grab and goes,
Mm-hmm.
you can get up to 5 free meals.
Okay. I've noticed that a lot of your meals are chicken-based. You have cilantro lime chicken. You have herb chicken. You've got an antipasto chicken. A lot of chicken dishes, but you have a great meatloaf. You have really good pasta dishes that are a little more higher in carbs, I guess, and fat. Some seafood, shrimp. I mean, we need to talk about some of the and I know there's a beef stir fry, which I purchased, and I wasn't, so excited about it. It was really good. I was really taken back. A prime rib. You have a bunch of prime rib meals with boiled potatoes, green beans. It's American cuisine, I guess.
Yes.
It's basic, but it's very satisfying. It is just so reasonable, and the time, it's literally 3 to 4 minutes in the micro. And in this pandemic, so my 2 new habits are eating clean eats, grab and go, and watching Netflix, because I will not watch the news anymore. I can't take it. So I'm looking for shows to binge watch at night just to occupy my mind and keep me away from the Democrats and the Republicans. I just can't do it. And I'm missing, I'm sure, a lot of, there's a turkey meal. You've got tacos. I see them all, and what am I missing?
I think you've hit on most of them.
Oh, if you jumped in there today, you would see even the prime rib, a low carb one with a buffalo cauliflower.
Right.
Manicotti.
Right. Manicotti's good, by the way.
Yes.
Yep, that's a good one. There's a cilantro lime salmon in there right now.
Oh, save some of those for
speaking
me.
of seafood.
Yeah. It's all very good. She's telling us we're winding down this set, and she said, "Shut up, Bill, and move on." I said, "Okay, so we're going to wrap up this set and come back in the third set. We'll be talking about Clean Eats and what they're doing here in Southmore County, and we'll be back in a minute. Thank you." Welcome back to our final set of All Things Moore County. Our conversation is all about Clean Eats in Southern Pines. I have to tell you, Leslie, your website is very colorful. It brings to life a lot of the things you guys are talking about. It seems to be pretty intuitive. It's www.cleaneatz, and that's CLEANEATZ.com. People can go onto that website and put into action some of the meal plans that you're talking about. It gives you a menu. You also, there's so many possibilities for what you can do. And I always think in terms of down the road, event planning or possibly catering with the fresh foods, not the grab and goes, right?
Correct.
So you could accommodate small business groups.
We do have catering options.
There's that whole bed and breakfast culture. I don't know. Airbnbs are becoming so popular. I mean, I guess you guys figure out, how do you tap into some of these different areas to get the word out? It's a challenge.
Yes, which we're hoping to get the catering back up again, of course, because of COVID.
Right.
So it's places like medical centers or which there's many of out here that used to do things like that aren't doing it. Car dealerships. We did a small one for like 12 people. So we do have that option, and hopefully that will be growing as we grow the business.
You mentioned to me during the break that the former owners have two other Clean Eats businesses, one in Greensboro and one in Fayetteville.
Correct.
And the reason that they sold it to you was not because they were getting away from the business, they were just inundated. And now you have the opportunity to make Southern Pine, give it a lot of priority to build the business up.
Yes, we believe by being local members of the community and living here that we can do a lot with it.
Yeah. How long have you guys lived in Moore County? I mean, this time around, I should say.
This time around, a little over a year.
Okay.
About a year and a half. But over my time that I mentioned in the military, I spent about 18 years at Fort Bragg, and so I've lived in Aberdeen, Southern Pines, now Whispering Pines, so maybe we'll hit up Pinehurst next.
So I'm always interested in tracking people. I mean, you're originally from South Florida, and you are originally, Leslie, from Vermont?
Correct.
Wow. So how'd you guys meet?
The military.
At the military?
Yes.
Okay.
Right here on Fort Bragg.
Yeah, we were both in the medical field, and
oh, is that right?
In psychology, yes.
Yep. And I've competed in a few bodybuilding shows, and people would ask me, do you know Leslie Jones? You should meet Leslie Jones.
Okay.
And we went to a work Christmas party, and apparently people had been telling her, you should meet this, at the time, Major Weaver guy. And so we ended up chatting, and over time developed a relationship.
Well, I love when people reinvent themselves and they start to do new things, because as we get a little bit older, sometimes people get stuck in an abyss where they're not moving forward, they're not doing new things, and it's always nice to add a new chapter to a book, because that's what our life is. It's chapter after chapter and challenge after challenge. Keeps us on the balls of our feet, right?
Yes.
That's a knowing smile.
That was definitely me.
That was definitely you?
Yes.
You guys are actually planning a grand opening in the end of this month?
The 26th.
Okay.
A grand opening under new ownership. The store actually never had a grand opening, and we would like to do one and to let people know that we're there and that we're new owners.
Yeah.
So
I hope people will. What day is the 26th?
Saturday.
It's a Saturday.
Right, which is 11 to 3, our normal business hours on a Saturday.
Okay.
We're going to have a couple other local Forte Fitness, Burn Boot Camp, True Fit, Vixen Woodworking, Nutrishop.
Okay.
They're all going to come and participate as well.
We'll be raffling off a rustic flag from Vixen Woodworking.
Okay.
So that's a free raffle.
Okay.
So yeah, it should be a fun time, and people can sample some food. We're gonna have a push-up contest for males and females. Whoever does the most will get a 10-meal meal plan free.
Okay.
So,
Dorothy,
a few fun things
on that push-up contest. Here's what I'm going to do.
I want to see this.
I'm going to do one.
And
then I'm going to put it into some sort of a portfolio where it repeats, and I'm going to email it in.
There you go.
And then I'll just come in and pick up my 10 meals.
I believe it. That's what I would do.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
I don't think I could do one push-up at this point.
You're also wanting to reach out to people who maybe will hear this show on the podcast or the radio show if they do come in to see you as a result of this, and you give them a 15% discount on, is it just a meal that they order that day?
Anything off the cafe menu.
Anything off the cafe menu.
Correct.
Yeah.
Whether it's dine-in or take-out.
So, 21 years I've been here, and I will tell you that it in an area like this, it's not so urban. If you connect and you network with the right people and you have patience, you can network very efficiently and aerodynamically in a very short period of time. If you were in a large city like Atlanta, maybe it would take a lot longer. There's more competition. But if you pound the drum and you get people to come in and you keep building and you, I guess, adopt a philosophy where, we're marketing and we're trying to establish our name, you can create a level of business far greater in a shorter period of time in Moore County than you could in a lot of other areas. It seems like you guys are on board with that.
Oh, absolutely. And that's one of the best things I like about this being a little bit of a smaller market.
Yeah.
Is getting to know people.
Right.
People walk in the door now.
Right.
And in this 10 weeks, yesterday a lady walked in and I said she was doing like you, Bill, heading straight to the grab and go, but she always orders a turkey burger, and she does it, but she normally orders it after she picks up her meals. So when she walked in yesterday, I said, "Hey, you ready for that turkey burger?" So we're learning people, and I think people still like that personal touch. I know I do when I go in places when people remember what I like to order,
Right.
And that sort of thing. So we're getting to know so many people by name now and know what they like. And it really does become like a little family already.
And there's some, you wanted to talk a little bit about the marketplace.
Yes, so we do have some desserts at Clean Eatz.
Desserts, okay.
That we make in-house.
Okay.
We make protein buckeyes, and we also make fudge.
So what's a buckeye? Help me out.
Buckeye. Peanut butter and chocolate.
Peanut butter
but we
and
make
chocolate.
a healthier version than the kind that you would normally make at Christmas or get in Ohio.
So is it chocolate? Is it carob?
No, it's actually Ghirardelli chocolate.
Oh.
But we do take the, we add protein powder, and we use powdered peanut butter to take the fat levels down.
Okay.
And we use honey and coconut oil. So we make it a little bit healthier.
So even the desserts can be considered healthy?
Yes.
Even with the high sugar levels?
In moderation, of course, like everything.
In moderation.
Yes. Right. And we make Clean Crunch, which is like Muddy Buddies, but healthier.
I never heard of a Muddy Buddy.
No Muddy Buddies?
What is that? Help me
So
out.
that's like Rice Chex cereal.
Oh.
But normally you cover it in butter and chocolate and other things. And we do ours in the same way that we do the fudge and the Buckeyes.
Okay. So you're getting a lot of protein in these desserts?
A little bit, which you would get no protein if you were buying
just
Buckeyes
sugars.
from the store. It would just be a dessert.
Which turn into fat. Or you store and, tell me real quickly about the shakes. You also offer protein... Smoothies.
Yes.
So there's a difference between a shake and a smoothie. What you offer is different than... sometimes some of these smoothies, you go into different stores, they're like designer smoothies, and the way they advertise them, they seem to have a lot of good stuff in them, but probably also a lot of sugar, and they're more cosmetic. They're not. How are your drinks different?
Our smoothies are made with protein.
Okay.
Our products are sweetened with stevia.
Okay.
And we do have some that add granola or a greens powder, so they have healthy benefits to them still.
Okay. That's become a big business, hasn't it? I've noticed a lot of franchises. Juice Vibes is one of them up in Raleigh. And they have, there are quite a few around, and they're seeming to be growing.
Yes.
So you'll have that option.
We do have that option, yes.
Okay.
We have 10 different ones.
Okay.
And again, the best thing at $5.99, you can't beat that price anywhere.
Yeah, that's a crazy price, because most of them I see are $9, $8 and up. And it's amazing. If you get an extra big size, it just goes up quite a bit. So people can come in. You guys are located behind the Spice Cafe off the intersection of 1 and Poplar Street, where the PNC Bank is. And if people know Arby's across the street, you're on the opposite side behind it. Off to the left, parking is easy. Your website is cleaneatz.com. and people can go there and I guess start reading about what you have. Your menu is posted. It's a pretty extensive menu. Burgers, flatbread, snacks, making muscle, wraps, salads, smoothies. Your drinks are all $5.99. That's terrific. So for me, I would look at these, and you have the calories listed. So I'm bigger than average. I'm always going for the higher calories, thinking if I were to drink one during the day, I'd have a chance to burn off a bunch of those calories before the evening, right? What is the one that I usually get? I'm just looking for the numbers. Not the belly button. The Dirty Nana. Chocolate, protein powder, bananas, chocolate syrup, smoothies. Anyway, it's all really good. I wish you guys luck with your grand opening. People who can hear the show and go in, or the podcast, Leslie and Philip are going to offer a 15% discount on anything in the cafe.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Just mention you heard about us on the podcast or the radio.
I hope things continue to safely open up and people get out and about and get in and see what you guys are all about. I wish you both the best of luck.
Thanks so
Thank you
much for
very
having
much.
us, Bill.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you guys are great, and we'll see you very shortly, I'm sure. Clean Eatz is the business, and it's right in the heart of Southern Pines off Highway 1. Everybody have a great week. Thanks for listening.